Have you ever woken up one morning, looked in the mirror, and felt something was wrong? Your face puffier, your eyes heavier, your blood pressure a little higher, yet you couldn't explain why. Most people don't realize that these quiet little changes are not just signs of fatigue. They're early warnings that your kidneys are struggling long before symptoms become loud. And the frightening truth is that once kidney damage begins, it rarely screams. It whispers silently, steadily, until one day your doctor tells you numbers you never wanted to hear. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and if you felt even one of those signs, I want you to listen closely, because the danger isn't what happens during the day. It's what happens while you sleep. Every night while your body rests, your kidneys are supposed to recover, reset, and clear the waste that keeps you alive. But for millions of people, that healing window is shrinking, and most never realize it until the damage is already advanced. The good news, the part almost no one talks about, is that nature gave us specific nighttime fruits that work like gentle healers, calming inflammation, lowering pressure inside the tiny kidney filters, and helping your body release toxins before they ever reach your bloodstream. And tonight I'm going to show you exactly which fruits do this, how to use them, and why even a half cup before bed can shift how your kidneys feel in the morning. But before we dive into the first one, let me say this. What I'm about to share may seem small, almost too simple, but the kidneys often respond to the simplest acts of consistency. Think of this introduction as opening a door, and once you step through it, you'll understand why so many of my patients finally woke up with clearer mornings, lighter bodies, and calmer blood pressure after just a few weeks. And that small shift is exactly where your transformation begins. When you think about kidney healing, most people imagine complicated diets, expensive supplements, strict medical routines. But the truth is, sometimes the most powerful protection comes from something so small it fits perfectly between your fingertips. Blueberries. These tiny dark blue spheres carry more healing power for your kidneys than most people will ever realize, and I've watched them make a measurable difference in patients who were genuinely running out of options. I remember one of my patients, Margaret, a 67-year-old retired teacher, who came to me terrified because her swelling kept getting worse every morning. Her eyes looked puffy, her ankles felt heavy, and every lab test seemed to creep just slightly in the wrong direction. She told me I do everything right, but I still feel like something inside me is clogging up. And she wasn't wrong. Her blood vessels around the kidneys were inflamed, stiff, and struggling to move blood the way they should overnight. That is exactly where blueberries work their quiet magic. Inside that deep blue skin are potent pigments called anthocyanins molecules, powerful enough to soothe inflamed vessels and help the delicate kidney filters stay flexible instead of tightening like old rubber bands. When your vessels stiffen, pressure rises. Your kidneys feel that stress instantly. But when they relax even slightly, the kidneys breathe easier. A clinical study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that regular blueberry eaters dropped their systolic blood pressure by about 5 points. To the average person, that seems like nothing. To the kidneys, that's the difference between drowning in pressure versus surviving the night. But blueberries don't stop there. Their natural fiber feeds the beneficial gut bacteria responsible for trapping toxins before those toxins ever reach your kidneys. Think of it like adding security guards to the gut guards that catch harmful compounds before they sneak into the bloodstream at 2 a.m. Research shows that high-fiber fruits like blueberries can reduce toxic waste markers in the blood by nearly 10%. For kidneys already fighting every hour of the night, that is a relief they desperately need. What makes blueberries even more extraordinary is how gently they interact with your body. They don't spike your blood sugar the way bananas or mangoes do. They don't flood you with potassium. They don't trigger nighttime bloating. Instead, they deliver calm, slow, steady nourishment, exactly what fragile kidneys need while you sleep. Most of my patients do incredibly well with just half a cup in the evening, especially paired with a spoonful of plain yogurt. The combination steadies blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and becomes a soothing pre-sleep routine that benefits the kidneys long after you close your eyes. And here's something many people overlook. Blueberries can noticeably reduce morning puffiness. When the microvessels around the kidneys become inflamed, fluid leaks into the face, eyes, hands, and feet. Blueberries help reinforce those vessels, almost like tightening the seams of a leaking pipe. Several of my patients have told me that after 2 weeks of consistent nighttime blueberries, They woke up looking and feeling less swollen. It may sound like a small victory, but for kidney health, these small victories are the beginning of bigger ones. Even better, the benefits don't change whether you buy them fresh or frozen. Frozen berries often cost less and last longer, making them one of the most affordable kidney-supporting foods available in the US right now. And because they're low in sodium, low in calories, and low in potassium, they're one of the rare fruits that feel both safe and nourishing for almost every stage of kidney concerns. But before you run to the kitchen to grab a handful, I want you to stay with me because there is something deeper here, something people constantly miss. Blueberries may be powerful, but they are only one piece of a much larger nighttime healing system your kidneys depend on. And the next fruit on this list has a completely different superpower, one that affects your sleep, your inflammation, and the way your kidneys repair themselves after midnight. But knowing this alone isn't enough because the next factor is even more unexpected and far more dangerous to ignore. And while blueberries work quietly to ease the pressure inside your kidneys, there's another fruit that steps in with a completely different kind of power, one that doesn't just help your kidneys directly, but helps you access the deep restorative sleep your body can't heal without. Tart cherries. These small ruby red gems may look delicate, but inside them is one of nature's most underrated kidney healing tools, natural melatonin. Not the synthetic pill from the drugstore that knocks you out and leaves you groggy, but the kind that your body absorbs slowly, rhythmically, and in perfect harmony with your internal clock. I'll never forget a patient named Daniel, 58 years old, who came to me exhausted, not just from kidney strain, but from years of sleep broken into fragments. He'd fall asleep only to wake up again an hour later, restless, frustrated, and unable to settle back down. His kidneys were inflamed, his blood pressure spiked at night, and every morning he felt more depleted than the one before. He told me, "I feel like sleep is slipping through my fingers and I can't catch it." What he didn't know was that poor sleep is one of the silent accelerators of kidney decline. If your body never enters deep sleep, your kidneys never get their nightly maintenance window. That's where Tart cherries change the game. They contain natural melatonin and a remarkable group of red pigments known as anthocyanins, similar to blueberries but with an added calming effect on the nervous system. Studies from the European Journal of Nutrition found that adults who consumed tart cherry juice before bed slept nearly 90 minutes longer each night. And those extra 90 minutes, they're not ordinary minutes. They're the deep sleep minutes where kidney filtration slows just enough for the kidneys to repair microscopic inflammation and restore vessel flexibility. That's the kind of healing you cannot buy in a supplement aisle. Even more impressive, tart cherries have been shown to reduce C-reactive protein, an inflammation marker linked to kidney damage, by up to 25%. That's not a small shift. That's the kind of change that takes pressure off the kidney filters and allows them to function with less resistance. And because tart cherries are naturally low in sodium and moderate in potassium, most people can enjoy them without worrying about shocking their kidneys or spiking their blood pressure. What makes tart cherries even more valuable is their gentle effect on nighttime muscle tension and restless legs. Two common issues in people with kidney strain. The small dose of magnesium in the fruit combined with its melatonin content helps your muscles unwind from the inside out. I often tell my patients to enjoy half a cup of tart cherries or 4 to 6 ounces of diluted tart cherry juice about 2 hours before bed. This gives your body enough time to digest, absorb, and release the melatonin in a smooth wave that guides you into sleep rather than forcing you into it. And yes, I know what you might be wondering. What if I'm diabetic? Whole tart cherries or diluted juice remain the safest options. They won't hit your bloodstream the way sweetened juices or desserts will. I always recommend checking blood sugar the first time you try them, but most of my patients do incredibly well with this nighttime ritual. If you've ever felt your mind racing at night or your body refusing to settle, even when you're desperately tired, tart cherries might be the missing link you never realized your kidneys were waiting for. Better sleep means calmer blood pressure, calmer inflammation, and kidneys that finally get the chance to recover rather than deteriorate. But don't get too comfortable yet, because tart cherries, powerful as they are, only handle one side of the problem. Sleep alone can't save the kidneys if toxins keep slipping into your bloodstream all day. The next fruit on this list doesn't just help your kidneys, it intercepts toxins before they ever reach them. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because what comes next is even more surprising and far more dangerous to overlook. And while tart cherries restore your ability to sink into deep healing sleep, There's a different problem quietly harming millions of kidneys every night, one that sleep alone cannot fix. Even when your kidneys are finally resting, toxins from the gut continue trying to slip into your bloodstream. That is where one of the most underestimated fruits in the entire world steps in: apples. Simple, common, affordable, yet carrying a hidden power most people never take seriously until they feel the difference for themselves. One of my longtime patients, Linda, a 61-year-old grandmother, had a problem no medication seemed able to help: persistent bloating, unpredictable digestion, and a heaviness in her body every single morning. Her labs were not terrible, but they weren't good either. Her creatinine hovered just above normal, and her inflammatory markers kept creeping up. The real issue wasn't her kidneys, it was her gut. She told me, "I feel like something is rotting inside me at night." And honestly, she wasn't far off. When the gut slows down, waste sits longer, toxins ferment, and harmful molecules leak directly into the bloodstream long before your kidneys ever get a chance to filter them out. That's where apples become a silent hero. Beneath their mild sweetness is one of the strongest natural detoxifiers found in everyday foods: pectin. This special fiber expands when it meets water inside the intestines, forming a soft gel that traps toxins, cholesterol-like molecules, and harmful metabolic byproducts. Think of it like laying down a sticky safety net inside the gut one that catches trouble before it ever reaches your kidneys. The Journal of Nutrition has shown that pectin can reduce toxin markers in the blood by 5 to 10%, a shift big enough to ease the kidney's workload night after night. But this isn't just about digestion. Apples help stabilize blood sugar in a way most fruits can't. Their natural sugars are released slowly, meaning no sudden spike that wakes you up sweating at 2 a.m. or crashes your energy before dawn. Many of my diabetic patients tell me a small apple in the evening is the first thing that allowed them to sleep straight through the night without those sharp, frightening drops in glucose. That stable rhythm gives the kidneys a calmer environment. No rapid blood pressure jumps, no sugar spikes, no inflammatory surges. And remember Linda, the grandmother with morning bloating. I had her switch from late-night crackers and tea to a simple routine: half an apple 2 hours before bed, paired with a tablespoon of peanut butter. Within 3 weeks, her digestion shifted. She woke up lighter. Her swelling decreased, and her labs began moving in the right direction for the first time in years. It wasn't magic, it was physiology. When the gut empties more efficiently, fewer toxins reach the kidneys, and the kidneys finally get the quiet they've been begging for. The apple peel itself delivers an extra level of protection. Its bright pigments contain polyphenols that shield the blood vessels, leading to the kidneys from oxidative stress, the same silent damage that stiffens arteries and raises nighttime blood pressure. Apples are also incredibly kidney-friendly: low in sodium, moderate in potassium, gentle on digestion, and safe for most stages of CKD when portions are controlled. Whether eaten raw or stewed for easier digestion, they offer both comfort and protection in the exact hours your kidneys need it most. But before you assume apples are nothing more than a simple snack, let me warn you, the next fruit on this list does something apples cannot. While apples cleanse and calm the body, the next fruit strengthens your blood vessels in a way that can directly change how your kidneys filter waste. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because what comes next carries an even deeper impact, and ignoring it could cost you far more than a restless night. And while apples quietly protect your kidneys by stopping toxins before they ever reach your bloodstream, there's still one more weapon, one that doesn't just prevent damage, but strengthens the very blood vessels your kidneys depend on to stay alive. Red grapes. Soft, sweet, refreshing, yet carrying one of the most powerful vascular protectors found in nature. And if your kidneys are struggling with swelling, stiffness, or pressure, this might be the single fruit your body has been silently begging for. I remember a patient named Robert, a 72-year-old military veteran, who walked into my office with a problem he thought was just age catching up. His ankles swelled every night. His eyelids were puffy every morning. His wedding ring felt tight by the afternoon. He told me, "Doc, it feels like my body is filling with water." But the real problem wasn't water, it was circulation. His tiny kidney vessels were inflamed and losing their flexibility. And when those vessels become rigid, blood struggles to move, pressure rises, and the kidneys already working nonstop become overwhelmed. That's where red grapes step in with a compound so powerful it's been studied for decades: resveratrol. This antioxidant doesn't just lower inflammation, It protects the endothelial lining of blood vessels, the same delicate layer that controls blood flow into the kidneys. According to research published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Pharmacology, resveratrol can improve vessel flexibility by up to 15% and lower inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein by nearly 20%. And when vessels soften and reopen, the kidneys finally receive smoother, calmer blood flow instead of the harsh pounding pressure that wears them down. But the benefits go beyond numbers on a lab report. Red grapes are naturally hydrating without being overwhelming. Their water content releases slowly through the night, supporting the kidney's filtration cycle without triggering excessive urination. For people with nighttime bathroom trips, this is a game changer. And for those battling swelling, grapes help the lymphatic system clear trapped fluid, leading many of my patients to wake up less puffy within just a week or two. Robert was one of them. I asked him to add a small handful of red grapes, no more than 3/4 of a cup, about 2 hours before bed. That timing avoids reflux, supports gentle digestion, and lets the antioxidants circulate before sleep begins. After 14 days, he walked into my office smiling for the first time. "Doc," he said, "my ankles look like they did 10 years ago." The swelling in his eyes had softened. His blood pressure was more stable, and his kidneys finally had less tension to fight against every night. What makes grapes especially powerful for kidney patients is how easy they are on the body. Low sodium, moderate potassium, no sharp spikes in blood sugar when paired with a few almonds or a slice of cheese. And they feel like a treat sweet enough to satisfy cravings without pulling your body into a crash. Even frozen grapes eaten slowly act like calming little ice pearls that relax the body after a long day. But don't let their sweetness fool you. When eaten at the right time in the right portion, red grapes work like a soft internal massage for your circulation, smooth, steady, supportive. They help your blood move more freely, reduce the pressure on your heart and kidneys, and create the perfect nighttime environment for healing. And for many people, this simple evening routine becomes the turning point where mornings finally feel lighter again. Still, everything you've learned so far, blueberries easing pressure, tart cherries restoring sleep apples, clearing toxins, grapes improving circulation, these are only the beginning of what your kidneys truly need. Because if you think food alone tells the whole story, it doesn't. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because what comes next may determine whether your kidneys continue to decline or finally start to heal in ways you never thought possible. And once your gut is calmer and toxin levels begin to drop, thanks to apples, there's one more piece of the puzzle your kidneys desperately need. Because even if you remove toxins, even if you sleep better, even if inflammation decreases, none of it matters if your blood can't actually reach the kidneys the way it should. That's why this next fruit is so important. Red grapes. They may look like nothing more than a sweet evening snack, but inside that glossy skin is a compound so protective, so quietly powerful, that it can help reopen the very pathways your kidneys rely on to stay alive. One of my patients, a 70-year-old former firefighter named Howard, is the perfect example. When he first came to see me, he wasn't complaining of kidney pain, he was complaining of swelling. His socks left deep marks in his ankles. He woke up with eyes so puffy he said it felt like his skin didn't fit his face anymore. And his blood pressure. It spiked every night, even when his daytime readings were normal. What he didn't understand was that his swelling, his fatigue, his heavy mornings, all of it pointed to one thing: his blood vessels were stiffening, shrinking, and quietly suffocating his kidneys from the inside. That's where red grapes step in with one of nature's most remarkable healing molecules, resveratrol. This antioxidant doesn't just fight inflammation, it protects and repairs the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, the microscopic layer that controls how freely blood flows into the kidney filters. When this lining becomes damaged, pressure builds, filtration suffers, swelling increases. But when it heals, something incredible happens. The kidneys suddenly get the smooth, consistent blood flow they need to function. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that resveratrol can improve vessel elasticity by 10 to 15% and reduce C-reactive protein, a major marker of kidney inflammation, by nearly 20%. For organs as delicate as the kidneys, that isn't just a benefit, it's a lifeline. And that's exactly what happened with Howard. I asked him to eat just a small handful of red grapes, no more than 3/4 of a cup, about 2 hours before bed. That timing matters because it lets the antioxidants circulate before sleep without overwhelming digestion or causing reflux. Within 2 weeks, he sent me a photo of his ankles. The swelling had softened. His face looked calmer. And for the first time in months, his blood pressure stayed stable through the night. He told me, "Doc, I didn't think something so small could make that big of a difference." And that's the hidden beauty of red grapes. They are gentle, they are safe, and they work slowly but consistently exactly the way the kidneys need. But the magic doesn't stop with resveratrol. Red grapes carry a hydration pattern few other fruits have. They release water slowly, not all at once, which means they support the kidney's nighttime filtration cycle without sending you running to the bathroom at midnight. For people who wake up 2 or 3 times every night, this alone can be life-changing. And when you pair grapes with a small protein source like a few almonds, you stabilize the sugar release even further, giving your kidneys a cleaner, smoother working environment. Red grapes also soothe the lymphatic system, the body's internal drainage network. When the lymph system moves better, swelling fades, circulation improves, and the kidneys finally get some of the pressure relief they've been craving. Many of my older patients tell me that grapes feel like a gentle evening massage from the inside, and honestly, that description isn't far from the truth. But before you assume we're done, I want you to pause for a moment, because everything you've learned so far, blueberries reducing pressure, tart cherries, restoring sleep apples, blocking toxins, grapes improving circulation, these are the pillars of nighttime kidney support. But they're not the whole structure. There is still one more factor, one more mistake people make, one more hidden threat that determines whether all of this healing actually lasts. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another factor that's even more dangerous, and most people don't discover it until real damage is already done. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this entire video, it's this: your kidneys are not failing you. They're fighting for you. Every minute, every hour, every night. And even the smallest changes, half a cup of the right fruit, a calmer gut, a better night's sleep, can tilt the balance back in your favor more than you realize. So please don't lose hope. Healing doesn't always happen in big dramatic leaps. Sometimes it happens quietly through the choices you make tonight. And if today's breakdown gave you even a little clarity, a little comfort, or a little direction, do yourself a favor, save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder of what truly supports your kidneys. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and tap the notification bell, because I release new kidney health guidance every week, and I don't want you to miss a single breakthrough that could change the way you feel in the months ahead. Your health matters to me more than you know. Your future matters. And you deserve to have access to real practical medical knowledge, not fear, not confusion, not guesswork. So keep going. Keep taking these small steps. And remember, your body is far more capable of healing than anyone has ever told you. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and I'm here to walk this journey with you one night, one choice, one improvement at a time.